Traders, stop what you're doing right now. Put down the Bitcoin chart. Step away from those NVIDIA 0 DTE calls, because I am about to show you a crime scene. Yes, you heard it correctly, a crime scene. If I showed you the supply and demand mechanics of any other asset on Earth, whether it's crude oil, Manhattan real estate, or limited edition Pokemon cards, like some like to trade, and the chart looked like the one I was about to show you, you would scream, bubble, bubble ahead. You would sell your kidney to buy long positions. You would tell me the laws of economics dictate a vertical price explosion. But it isn't Pokemon cards. No. This, my friend, is gold's cousin, silver. The most hated, manipulated, and disappointing asset in the history of finance. The winner-maker trade outside of JGBs, Japanese government bonds. The place where hope goes to be strangled in a dark alley. But if you look at the math, the picture is a bit different. This isn't just a massive, life-changing, epoch-defining shortage. This is a mathematical impossibility. We are witnessing the financial equivalent of a modern-day daylight robbery looting. We are digging it out of the ground slower than we are burning it. And I do mean burning it. We are vaporizing this metal into missiles, solar panels, AI chips, semiconductors, and so much more. And then we're burying it in landfills forever. Forever. Gone. Beyond the price of economically salvaging it in terms of recycling. It's gone forever. It is an extinction event, an X event for a precious metal. So why is the price sitting at 50% of its 1980s high in terms of modern day inflation adjusted metrics? Because the price you see on your screen, traders, is a lie. It's a collective, unified, agreed upon folie à deux, a hallucination. It's a psyop orchestrated by the most powerful entities on this planet who need this metal to be so cheap they can build weapons that end the world. And no, I kid you not. Listen on and I'll tell you why you should believe this. Today, we are looking at support and resistance. No, we're not. We're not looking at that at all. We're looking at a collision between a fake paper market and a physical wall of impending reality. The silver squeeze isn't just a meme. It's a geological certainty. So put on your tinfoil hats, or maybe your silver lined hats, because we're going to the Comex. All right. If you don't know me by now, by the way, my name is Justin Banton. This is the House of Trade. Share, like, and subscribe. In the middle of my video, or around about this point, I like to weave in a little bit of a narrative, be a little bit of a storyteller, because sometimes we learn better through oral displays of pedagogy and teaching. So let's talk about this silver trade in terms of a story. So to understand why I think this market's broken, you have to understand the disconnect between the reality and, quite frankly, the casino, which is this market. Let me tell you a story about two guys, Miner Mike and Banker Brad. Man, I've started using the name Mike, and it's just stuck on this channel, so I don't know. Miner Mike is going to be the name for everything, right? Miner Mike is in Peru. It's not a very Peruvian name. He runs a silver mine. His life is hard, very hard. You wouldn't think it is, but it is. His diesel costs are up 40%. His labor costs are up 20%. And the local government keeps trying to nationalize his mine. Yeah, Mike digs a ton of rock out of the ground to find like 5 ounces of silver because it's increasingly rare. It costs him like $24 an ounce just to get the stuff out of the dirt. Mike deals in physical reality. If he doesn't dig, there is no silver. There's no rehypothecation. There's no securitization. There's no financialization. He's dealing in the real world, physical assets, right? Now, on the other hand, let's meet Banker Brad, our favorite one to hate. Brad works on the derivative desk of a major bullion bank in New York. Brad has never seen a shovel. He's never held a shovel. He thinks mining is something you do on a computer to get Bitcoin. Brad deals in paper reality, in paper fallacy. Brad can't create. Well, he can create. Brad, that's the problem. Brad can create silver out of the thin air. He sells futures contracts, promises to deliver silver he doesn't have, right? When the price of silver starts to go up, maybe because Mike is struggling to dig it up, who knows, Brad starts to get a bit nervous. So what does Brad do? Brad starts to hit that button on his keyboard and he sells 50 million ounces of paper silver into the market in 3 seconds. 3 milliseconds. What happens? Obviously, the price crashes. Brad high-fives his bro. He's made his bonus. He's crashed the market. He's destroyed lives in Peru. But we move on. But here is the problem. Mike obviously stops digging. At $28 an ounce, Mike can barely keep the lights on. The marginal cost to produce it is eating away at what he can sell it for. It doesn't make sense, right? The price equilibrium just isn't there. He stops exploring for new mines, obviously. It's not profitable. He shuts down production, the supply dries up, but the demand. What happens to the demand? The demand doesn't really care about Brad's paper games, obviously. Apple still needs silver for its iPhones. Raytheon still needs silver for its missiles. Yes. Silver is used in missiles. I'll tell you about that later. So what do? They call Mike. Mike, my friend, I know we treated you atrociously. I know your wife left you because the mine shut down, but we need that metal, Mike. Mike says, bruh, I don't have any of that metal. Brad, your friend over there in New York that you were high-fiving last week, has crushed the price. So I closed the mine, guys, obviously. Now, fast forward, end the analogy, end the story. This is where we are right now. The paper market has suppressed the price for such a long period of time that the physical market has stopped producing the bloody metal. They can't do it. We are living in the gap between Brad's delusion and Mike's empty warehouse. And that gap is about to snap shut like a bear trap, right? So let's talk about silver's extinction event. It really is the disappearing element, right? Certain geological surveys, it was just declared a critical mineral by the American Geological Survey because they said it's disappearing and they might have to delete it from the periodic table. I kid you not. But let's look at the numbers that Mike is actually dealing with. According to the Silver Institute, who are basically the accountants of the apocalypse, right, of the end of days, the world consumed roughly 1.2 billion ounces of silver last year. But what about the miners? They only dug up 830 million ounces. Now, my maths is good, but my maths isn't apocalyptic enough to tell you that leaves a 400 million ounce deficit of silver. That means we're eating into the above ground stockpiles at a rate that is absolutely terrifying, unsustainable, and unfathomable. The vaults in London and New York are absolutely hemorrhaging. They're bleeding the inventory. If this were copper, the price would probably double. If this were oil, we'd invade the country. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. But you know, man, whatever. Okay, let me not go into that because Venezuela's around the corner. But this is silver. The price sits at $30 an ounce, like a little good dog, and it might get up to 50 or 60, but it still gets suppressed. Why? Because the market thinks silver is just jewelry. They don't realize that silver is literally the vampire of electricity. It's the most conductive metal in the known universe. You cannot have the Green New Deal without silver. You cannot have net zero without silver. You cannot have solar without silver. AI, semiconductors, superconductivity, missiles, tomahawks, guidance systems, solar panels, they are silver paste sandwiches. Electric vehicles, they use literally 2 to 3 times more silver than gas cars. 5G towers, 6G towers, 7G towers, they're going to be loaded with this stuff. We are transitioning the entire global economy to electricity. It truly is the decarbonization of the grid and the electrification of the world. And we're running out of the metal that moves electricity like electricity needs to move efficiently. It's like trying to build a skyscraper and running out of steel beams, right? It's like trying to build a wood cabin, but you've knocked down all of your forestry. It's impossible. So you decide to use hardened pasta instead. Yeah, good luck with that. It's never gonna work, right? Now, let's lead on to the conspiracy side of this, right? And why silver has probably been suppressed for so long, but they're finally finding it difficult to keep the suppression. And this leads me onto the military-industrial complex, the MIC, the war machine, the harbingers of doom, the guys who like to shoot weaponry. This is the juicy part. The part that gets you put on a watch list and gets my videos flagged. Why does Banker Brad seem to slam the ask and the bid every single time the price rallies? Is it just greed? Is it just voracious avariciousness? No, it's national security. And you know, whenever national security is mentioned, you have to talk about the military industrial complex. So enter the MIC. You see, like, silver isn't just for earnings. It's essential for modern warfare. Every tomahawk, every cruise missile, it contains roughly 15 kilograms of silver. Yes, 15 kilograms. Every torpedo, every guidance system, every jet fighter cockpit, every satellite. Silver is genuinely a strategic metal. And it allows things to go boom and bang and explode with high precision and high efficaciousness. Now, imagine you are the US Department of Defense. You know, you might have to fight a war in the Pacific or wherever else you want to launch your expansionary imperialism. That's another question. You know you need to build about 10,000 missiles to replace the one you gave to Israel. Do you want silver to be $200 an ounce? Probably not. You want it to be 50 or hopefully half of where it is. You want it cheap, you want it ready available, you want to stockpile it without blowing the budget. There is a theory, and I call it a theory because I don't want to be sued, right? I don't have any money, guys. I don't have any money. I don't want to be sued, I don't want to be found for libel, and I don't want to end up on a watch list. The theory is this: the banks act like proxies for the government to keep the price of the strategic metals low. They tamp down the price. They're working in conjunction. And that's why we have so many cases of metals rigging all out through the market. JP Morgan, Citibank, all of them. Do you ever remember when the CFTC commissioner literally admitted that they've tamped down the price of silver in 2021 to prevent a system collapse? He literally said that out loud. Go and check it. Go and check it. Don't believe me? Go and check it. I'm not going to say it again. Go and check it. If silver goes to its true value based on inflation, which is probably like 150 to 200, the cost of waging war literally goes up 10x. The system can't afford real price discovery, so they rig the casino, they sell paper contracts for the silver that doesn't exist to keep the physical price suppressed. Excuse me. So, there's another thing going on here as well though, right? The squeeze just gets tighter and tighter and tighter because Silicon Valley also just entered the chat. Move over military industrial complex, move over weaponry, move over tomahawks, move over the cost of war going up, and enter Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley. AI, also known as artificial intelligence, also known as take your job and your girlfriend by next summer. High performance computing generating masses of heat. To make that AI faster, you need obviously the best conductor, and silver is king of that. The industrial demand slice of the pie is eating the investment slice now. And here is the kicker. The price is inelastic. What does that mean? Well, that's fancy trader speak for. It means the price doesn't matter to the buyer. The buyers are price agnostic at this level. If Apple needs 0.001 grams of silver for an iPhone and silver goes from $30 to $300, does Apple stop making iPhones? Obviously not. They will pay any price to get that metal and they'll pass it on to the consumer. Hence why these prices of these things keep going up and up and up, even though Moore's law tells us that the efficiency of technology doubles every time proportional to the square root of blah, blah, blah. It still gets higher and higher, right? What's the conclusion? We have a market that is physically in deficit, strategically critical, and artificially suppressed by banker Brad et al. It's like a coiled spring, and we're approaching the moment of physical delivery. The moment where a big entity stands for delivery on the Comex and says, I don't want the cash, I don't want the paper, give me the metal. What happens then? What happens then when the Comex looks into the vault and has to realize, uh-oh, it's actually empty in here? That's the moment that silver pulls in nickel 2022. It goes vertical, parabolic, exponential, out of this world. They can print dollars, they can print euros, they can print yen, but they cannot print this hard asset. But what should you do? You should buy it while it's still illegal for the peasants like us to own it, all right? Buy it, get exposure to it, ride the bubble up, do it safely, do it in optionality if you can, do it at spot if you can, do it via the miners. And I'll see you on the moon, baby, or in the breadline. One of the two. We're going to either be in Saint-Tropez or the asylum after this, right? But what we do need to know is that my name is Justin Bantam, and this is the House of Trade. And I need you to share, like, and subscribe, okay? And ciao for now. Good luck out there, traders.